Hi everyone, I'm back with another video from the Diablo 4 Season 4 PTR. The test run is already down, but I have played a lot of different builds, including this one, the FIREBOLT Sorcerer. This is a new build coming in Season 4, based on a new unique, the Flame Weaver Glove, that allows you to play a FIREBOLT build now. So the way this works is that you put down a firewall, and then you shoot into it, and it will split the firebolt into multiple projectiles. And all of these projectiles can also shotgun the same target, so you can produce pretty insane single target damage output. What you see here is like just some random clip of me playing this in the pit, which is the new endgame system. There are 200 tiers, this is 125. I was not fully unlocked yet on all of the tiers, but this build can quite easily cruise even all the way through T200, at least with the balancing on the PTR. I also don't really expect like major nerfs for this build compared to other builds that have been performing this good. So I think this is going to be relatively close to what we're going to see on the live patch. So the way this works is that basically you have this unique glove, and then you just, put down the firewall there, as you can see. You split the firebolts, and it's really a game of like positioning. You have to try to put the flame wall in the right spot. Try to put it like right in front of the enemies, for example, maybe freeze them right behind the firewall, like you see here with the Frost Nova, for example. So I try to keep them exactly in the right place and then just blast through the pack. And Firebolt just pierces through all the enemies, and you can either choose to, for example, have the firewall further away to AoE down the entire pack with individual hits, or you can try to put it right in front of the elite, for example, to then hit them with many projectiles. So it kind of does it all and has a really fun new playstyle that is really unlike anything else I have played so far. The way I built the setup was based on dots, because Firebolt actually has a pretty significant portion of dot damage attached to it. So you can probably try to also make this like a hit/crit build basically, but I think dots is probably the way to go. So it's actually one of the few kind of like non-crit builds out there as well. And you can see here you have like this burning effect that stacks up on the enemies, and well, you can easily burn up monsters for like, half of their life or more, and then just watch them melt as you run away and they die behind you basically. So it's really fun. And on top of this, this build also has incredible survivability, because this is a basic attack build that has very high attack speed. So number one, you could have effects like, for example, the new life per hit stats on your items. But more importantly, you can also have other legendary powers like Hectic. So Hectic is something that is really useful in Sorc Build. So it's this one here that reduces your cooldowns whenever you attack 5 times with basic skills. And since this is what you do basically all of the time, you can refresh your cooldowns, like especially your flame shield, very often. Now there is a bit of a chance that this might get nerfed. So perma flame shield is a kind of big problem that I also talked about in my PTR feedback video. So that may get nerfed, maybe not. But either way, even if that is getting nerfed and perma flame shield is no longer possible, then you still have the benefits of this hectic effect here for all of your other skills. There's Frost Nova, there's Teleport, I have Inferno here. So you can do different combos here, and like in this clip, for example, I didn't put Inferno. I have the Ice Blades there for the Tarasha ring. So there is a bit of like a variety in like how you can build it, but either way, it feels really nice and smooth because you constantly reset your cooldowns with this hectic power. In fact, you could even try to put it on the amulet if you really want to reset your stuff even faster, and you can have like perma ice armor, for example, and these kind of things. I can also show off a boss fight here real quick. So it's the same run, and you can see here that the boss actually melts pretty fast. So you basically just try to like position it properly, firewall right on the boss, for example, and then you will hit him multiple times. And you see here, especially once the boss is staggered, he's gonna start melting really fast once the Roaring Blaze kicks in, or maybe some other legendary aspects, some legendary Paragon nodes that increase damage to crowd-controlled enemies. And then boom, that's it here. I also took down some of the level 200 Uber bosses with this build here. As you can see, this one, this is the clip of the Echo of Zir, level 200, which is arguably one of the easiest of those. But in general, because of this extra cooldown reduction and the way that I built the setup quite tanky anyway with my Paragons and my legendary powers, it was fairly easy to do this. So you can just press your flame shield a lot, you can press your ice armor a lot if you have that, and it's quite easy to survive these bosses, even if you don't play all the mechanics perfectly. So for the exact setup, I guess we'll have to wait for the final patch notes, because I expect there will be quite some balance changes in particular in there. But in the grand scheme of things, I have already made the setup here that I played on the PTR. This is the entire planner. I will also have this linked in the description. and I have it here in my PTR section in my Woody Builds channel. So I started making these planners here already. There will be more over the next following weeks as we approach season 4, which is still a month away. So I'm planning to just kind of like, you know, min-max these builds more as we progress and once we have the final patch notes. But for the most part, this is the main combo of the build and really something I'm looking forward to playing. Now, in the grand scheme of things, on the Sorcerer side of builds, I think that this is not necessarily going to be the best build out there, but it's definitely going to be one of the better ones there. So we have stuff like Arclash and Ball Lightning. Those builds are also getting a bit of a step up in this patch, not directly, but for example through the tempering modifiers that allow you to like double cast your skills and these kind of things, which does affect most builds somewhat equally. But in general, the good builds will remain good most likely that we already have. And then we have stuff like the new Frozen Orb coming in. However, I do expect some quite heavy nerfs for Frozen Orb because that was kind of overperforming. And then we also have this here, for example, on the fire builds. But in general, the diversity of Sorc builds is going to increase. And we now have another viable basic attack build next to Arclash, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the details of this planner just yet, because as I mentioned, we're going to wait for the patch notes. I'm going to be min-maxing the setups. I also didn't put any stats yet because we just recently got our default planner update here with the new tempo modes and so on. So I have to go back and work on these. But season 4 is still quite a bit away, and I will definitely have an updated version of this with a full build guide for you. For now, I just wanted to highlight how the build works. I think it's pretty cool and definitely something to look forward to for Sorcs. I'm quite excited to make this one. So that's already it for my little showcase here for the FIREBOLT Sorc from the PTR. As I mentioned, I'm going to have an update for you guys soon. If you have played this on the PTR, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's maybe some other choices you made on your setup with the planner or something like that. That would be kind of interesting. And otherwise, definitely something cool to look forward to for the Sorcs. Hope you enjoyed this video here, and see you guys next time.